Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, one local art center is tapping out and moving out of downtown Columbia. And
a lot of times you don't know unless you ask.
Student government is encouraging students to ask the right questions to break the stigma. But first, President Trump is in town to visit a historically black college. The topic, criminal justice reform. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Carolina Insider. I'm Will Rioux. The President of the United States is in town today. Donald Trump and a number of other political figures are making their way to Columbia for a forum on criminal justice reform. Mr. Trump, along with other Democratic presidential candidates, Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, will all make appearances at some point during this weekend's forum. The Second Step Presidential Justice Forum is today through Sunday at Benedict College, and is Trump's first ever visit to a historically black college or university. The forum is put on by the 2020 Bipartisan Justice Center. You can expect traffic just east of downtown to be especially heavy due to security. While politicians are coming to the city, a fixture in the art community is leaving. As Phoebe Murray explains, an art center in the heart of the capital city is having to relocate.
It's First Thursday on Main, and arts and culture fans are strolling through the halls of TAPS Art Center. For the past 8 years, local creators of all kinds have become part of the collective, like Rioux, who works with vibrant colored paper, or Ron Hagel, who uses bullets to make his political point.
There's not a second of the day that's not some sort of creative experience or like meeting of the minds, which makes it really special, and it makes people want to come here and stay here. So we've built a family from that.
But like many households, this family is having to move. Caitlin Bright is executive director of TAPS. She says the nonprofit didn't get the grant money it needed to stay in its downtown home. According to Columbia's grant administrator, they had $2 million to give and 76 applicants.
We also have new groups coming in, so sometimes the money's got to come from somewhere, so there may be groups that may not get quite as much so that we can make room for new arts and culture groups or events that qualify that are coming in.
At the same time the TAP Center is competing for art dollars, it's also struggling with history. Built in the 40s, this former department store has a host of water leaks and is showing its age.
It takes, everything to keep a space like this running.
So they're looking for a new home, one that Bright says may very well be in Casey. No matter where they end up, she wants the artist to play a role in the space and its design.
Nobody has walls, it's totally fine, but I do want to have more of a setup that says community and a flex space that means community.
The artists we talked to plan to follow Bright wherever she lands, but until the end of November, they'll still be saying, "Meet me at TAPS." For Carolina Insider, I'm Phoebe Murray.
TAPS has its sights set on a new location, and a local belly dancing group is putting on a fundraiser to help with the cost of the move. That fundraiser will be November 8th and 9th at TAPS. In university news, state officials just approved a plan to build a new student housing complex. Campus Village will replace what is now Cliff Apartments. The $210 million housing project for USC is set to begin construction in February. And that is not the only new on-campus housing coming to USC. Our Brendan McDowell has more on another potential expansion in today's Cocky Spotlight. Brendan?
Thanks, Will. I'm at the Honors College courtyard right now, a spot that might be looking differently in a couple years from now. This courtyard could be the home of the nearly $20 million renovation addition to the Honors College. The idea was originally brought up in 2016, but it wasn't until September of this year that the Board of Trustees officially proposed the plan. With the addition, 150 new student beds and 5 new classrooms will be coming to the building. Honors College Dean Stephen Lynn says there are more freshmen coming into the school than ever before. Now, this is just a proposal. The plan will not actually go into effect until the board passes the plan, with hopes of construction beginning in 2020 and the building being open in fall of 2021. Back to you, Will.
Thanks, Brendan. Mental health is becoming as much of a priority as physical health, especially here on campus. Today wraps up student government's Stigma-Free USC Week. There have been a range of events going on around campus like this one at the Clapping Circle. The goal is to encourage conversation about mental health and remind students it's okay to not be okay. Students we have talked to at the university are doing all it can to accommodate the rising number of students who need counseling services.
Capacity-wise, that is kind of an issue that we're struggling with a little bit now, just the amount of resources that we have, but we're continually getting more and more, and I think the university is responding in a really good way.
USC offers 10 free counseling sessions to all students. However, students frequently have to wait 3 weeks between appointments. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.